So I'm going to be passing on to the next tip, which is shooting into the sun. And what you need to be doing is shooting for highlights. So let me first explain something. One thing you must really avoid is something called the blown out highlights. That means that on the spectrum of color, here in the case of photography, you'll have blacks, complete black, 100% black, and 100% white. And what happens about blown out highlights is that you get 100% white. And that means that even if you bring your exposure of your whole photo down, that 100% of white will never go down. It will always stay at 100. So that's why you must be very careful of how you expose. And when I say you need to expose to the highlights, that means that you need to take your exposure not on the mountain, but actually on the sun, like in this case. So I'm going to give you an example of exposing into the highlights. So very much when we're flying, we actually like to see what we're shooting, and we want to kind of on the screen to see what it's going to look like. But very often, if you start to overexpose this, it's going to, I mean, if you increase the exposure on the buildings here, it's going to highlight and burn the sky. So as you can see here, I did the exposure on the sky, and here becomes underexposed, and that is fine, and that's how it should be. And because we're shooting in DNG, that means that all the information of this photo is actually stored, and it's just a question of afterwards in post-production is bringing out, as I said here, corrected in Lightroom, using the shadow slider to recover the dark areas. And yeah, so that's basically bringing all these dark areas out, and then you can play around with the sky. You can add a temperature just to make it more moody, like sunsetty, and then you can, if you want as well, play with the sky, bring down the highlights in the sky, change the color in the sky, just to bring it to a style and a mood that you feel comfortable with. And what you actually want to do is to bring back to life what you actually saw with your own eyes, and what the place actually looked. And then of course we have our style, which you can always add.